Hello, my darlings. Hello, my babies. Hello, my ragtime gals. We have restarted our second show, which is Deep Cuts. Eventually, we're going to move Deep Cuts to another night. But those of you coming in after the fact, we are now waiting, we are now waiting for the people who are watching our lovely Slay episode 105 live stream to filter back into this feed. Now, if you watch this after the fact, it's important that we do two separate
we're back.
episodes. We have to do two completely separate episodes because we have stumbled into kind of a great thing where we have advertisers. We have GoDaddy, we have Quince, we have Factor Meals, we have Stamps.com, and breaking our Wednesday live stream into two separate episodes has wound up having some crazy benefits for us with SEO and where we rank with our codes. Our Stamps.com code is Sigler100, which gets you all kind of benefits. Go to Stamps.com or go to scottsigler.com/stamps. See that. And of course, GoDaddy, which has been a sponsor for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
They have, and I appreciate that every big company may be problematic. What I'm saying is GoDaddy always meets us where we are, always tries to help, always tries to prevent crises, things like that. They're very lovely, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we have several sponsors. So doing this, actually, we're experimenting, but I think this will help. And I do think if this does actually pan out, we're probably going to do a story read on one night and a deep cuts on another night. And you guys will get twice the Sigler.
Twice the Sigler, which everybody loves so much. Are you, is that where your mic's going to be? Are you where you're going to be in the mic?
Yeah.
That's better. So
okay. I'll focus and stay focused.
Hold on a second. Go ahead.
I'm going to focus and stay focused about 2 inches from this mic, no matter where we go.
It's still
I'm going to come
super crappy. That's not you. That's me. I don't know why we're different than last week. You know, we're going to leave that alone.
We're just going to figure it out in post.
We're doing live.
Poor Steve Rickyberg. I told him ahead of time, and he was very okay with it. Well, he was okay with it.
All right. So here we go, you guys. Now, Steve, to let you know, I've been recording all of this, just to give you a heads up on how you trim it down. And this is the question suites.
Those are the questions, but you need the script to clue Jim.
Got you. You're going to read this, right?
Well, it says, this is the first part. I'll do that. And then if you look, we've got your question.
So it goes this, then this, then this.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. But actually this first.
Exactly.
So next time, let's split these into two separate documents, okay?
Aren't they two separate documents?
This should be on this. So I have two separate.
Oh, okay.
One for the one show, one for the second show.
Sure.
We'll get it figured out. Okay. All right, guys, we're winging this. We're figuring it all out. Here we go. Actually, we don't need all this. I'm going to delete that. Help Steve out a little bit. Return.
And you're recording?
We are recording.
Hello.
Okay, here we go. San Diego Comic-Con, the mother of them all, is upon us, and I, your friendly neighborhood walking cadaver, your future dark overlord, am a special guest. We will tell you what I'm up to at the con, and we will talk about how conventions have changed since all that COVID business, and we'll also be a Dragon Con.
We will. We will be at Dragon Con. It's so exciting, and we will get right into all of that right after this quick break.
Hunter the Femboy, welcome.
Hello, Hunter.
That's not going to make it to the podcast, but Hunter the Femboy, welcome. Let's go chat. All right. So we're figuring stuff out. Kelly McCardle says, what? What are you talking about, Kelly? Here we go. Hold on. Now we get into it. And, honey, this is last week's.
Oh, look at that. Poop.
All right. I'll wing it.
Just go to Deep Cuts.
Yep. Deep Cuts. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Deep Cuts, the bonus episode of the Scott Sigler Slices fiction podcast, where a sci-fi author and an audiobook narrator discuss things and stuff in the world of fiction and pop culture. I am Scott Sigler, sci-fi horror author known far and wide as the future Dark Overlord.
And I am A.B. Sigler, audiobook narrator and publisher at Empty Set Entertainment. And tonight we're talking about the business of conventioning, and Scott's special guest status at San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, hold on. Where's that extra sound coming from? Do you hear it? Are the fans on? Is the AC on?
The AC is on in that room.
Hold on, guys. We're going to fix this. Oh, this is all... Can't do this, babe. Can't do this.
I think I just walked in that way. I apparently walked in and didn't close the door behind me.
Someone's in trouble. Okay, here we go.
All right.
We got turn up. This is terrible. I don't know what's going on. Talk to him.
I'm talking to you guys. We have been preparing to go to San Diego Comic-Con tomorrow for this whole week, trying to get all of this stuff recorded and done so that we can...
Fuck. I left the fucking bands on. That's me. That's me. I got it.
So that we can give you content while we're away from the office.
All right. That sounds way better. Okay,
All right.
ready to get into it now? This is all...
So if you want to redo the deep cuts main so it's easier for Steve, you should. This one.
No, he'll figure it out. It's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
and you don't care about the noise? I don't know. Okay.
Welcome to Deep Cuts, the bonus episodes of Scott Sigler Slice's fiction podcast, where a sci-fi author and an audiobook narrator discuss things and stuff in the world of fiction and pop culture. I am Scott Sigler, San Diego Comic-Con special guest, sci-fi author known far and wide as the future Dark Overlord.
And I am A.B. Sigler, audiobook narrator and publisher at Empty Set Entertainment. And tonight we're talking about Scott's special guest status at San Diego Comic-Con and how conventions have changed since the pandemic.
Yes. And a reminder, this is a bonus episode in the Scott Sigler Slices podcast feed. It is not part of any story. You don't have to listen to keep up on the current tale. However, we think you might like the peek behind the storyteller and congoer's curtain.
For sure.
Ready to get into it?
Absolutely, yes. So we're going to start by talking about Scott's appearance at San Diego Comic-Con, which starts tonight as a preview night, but then the full con starts tomorrow. We're going to be there for the whole con. Scott doesn't have any public appearances outside of the convention. And part of the reason for that is that San Diego Comic-Con is very, very thoughtful. They're the biggest con on earth, and they are they might not be the oldest, but they're the oldest, biggest.
The granddaddy of
like
them all.
they're kind of the granddaddy.
Kind of like the Rose Bowl of cons.
And we're San Diego people, and we know that San Diego Comic-Con very thoughtfully thinks of external things to the convention, sort of like fleas on a dog. So we're not doing anything because he's a special guest, and that's the right thing to do. They are taking great care of us. They are a wonderful convention. They're very, very thoughtful. We're going to talk a lot about that. But first, we're going to tell you what he's doing. So if you are local to San Diego or attending San Diego Comic-Con, tomorrow afternoon at 2:15, Scott is part of the Writers' Coffee House. The Writers' Coffee House started...
Well, let's show them the whole graphic first, because this...
Let's talk through it.
There's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Number one, we'll go through this graphic. You can watch it. Go ahead, babe. Now you can start.
Tomorrow afternoon at 2:15, he's part of the Writers' Coffee House. The Writers' Coffee House is this very, very cool, very old thing. About 30 years ago, writer Jonathan Mayberry started the Writers' Coffee House in Philadelphia, where he lived at the time, because he was shifting from nonfiction writing to fiction writing. He had published a handful of technical nonfiction books about martial arts, and he decided that he wanted to get into writing. And so when he got into writing, he wanted help from fiction writers and thought, what better way than just having a monthly meeting? 30 years later, it's on the Comic-Con panel stage.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And several local several local authors will be on that panel with him. And they just answer questions about writing or talk about their projects, and hopefully writers in the audience build from that.
A lot of early stage authors and authors looking for information about the career and general questions. And you get this room full of people who have all published at least one, probably multiple works, including people like me and Jonathan and Peter Kleins, who come in and just spew, like whatever you ask, we're going to spew that information back at your face. What
And
happens
right
next?
after that, at 5 p.m., there is a autograph session for the folks who are at the Writers' Coffee House. Peter Kleins will be there. Jonathan Mayberry will be there. I think Brian Asman, who has that new book that you're reading right now.
That's right.
Man, Fuck This House.
Man, Fuck This House. Very good.
Which is fun. And then because San Diego Comic-Con is kind of big, there's 45 minutes between the end of the Writers' Coffee House and the autograph session because they have to walk to the sales pavilion at the convention center, and that will probably take about a half an hour. The next day, on July 25th, Scott interviews Jonathan Mayberry, who is also a special...
It's a crisscross.
Yeah, he's also a special guest at San Diego Comic-Con. He, of course, if you don't know Jonathan's work by now, just stop. After you finish watching this, go Google Jonathan Mayberry and read many of those books.
Patient Zero is the first book of the Joe Ledger series, which among Jonathan's many wonderful accomplishments is probably his biggest series. Read Patient Zero. You will know whether you like him or not right there.
Yeah, 100%. I love him as a human being, and I love his fiction. And I think if you like Scott's fiction, you'll like Jonathan's too.
So I get to interview Jonathan about all the wonderful things that he has done, all the wonderful things that he has planned. So that is our Friday. And then after that, we have a book signing.
Yeah, you have a book signing at 4:30. Then at 6, after the fact, you have a book signing with the folks who are going to be on your writing military fiction panel.
Yep.
And then after the autograph session, you guys have your panel.
It's a bit of a weird, usually you have a panel and then the people in the panel get up and go to the autograph area, and people who are at the panel who want to get autographs can come, and anybody else can come too. This is a weird scheduling thing. So the autograph session for this is actually before.
And this is Combat
panel.
Monsters.
Yeah. This is largely for the Combat Monsters. Let me get this back up here. It is Combat Monsters, but the panel is called Writing Military Fiction and Alternate History. And that matters for me because not only is the Combat Monsters, I also have a series called The Crypt, which is military fiction. It's not alternative history. But we get done with that, and then we move on to Saturday. Saturday, the most relaxed day of all the days, because Sunday we must be at church, but Saturday is all to ourselves. Honey, what is happening on Saturday?
Well, Scott's Spotlight panel. If you are an invited special guest to Comic-Con, which Scott is, you have a Spotlight panel. And Scott's Spotlight panel is at 12:30 on Saturday, where Jonathan Mayberry will talk to him about his career. And we offered that as a team. Jonathan and Scott offered that as a team to San Diego Comic-Con, and they loved that.
It looks like I fucked up the graphic. So those of you listening after the fact, we do this podcast as a live stream every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can join us at facebook.com/Scott Sigler, twitch.tv/Scott Sigler, or youtube.com/Scott Sigler. On this live stream, we're showing a graphic in which I have Thursday, July 24th, Friday, July 25th, and Saturday, also July 25th, which constant listener Spike DeBona says, yes, you crossed the international date line, so you then come back.
You figured it out.
It is Saturday, July 26th. No one caught that, Spike, but you caught it. We appreciate it. So
and
then,
Spike, also the Pine Deep series by Mayberry is fantastic.
So
I
then
agree with you.
We do, let's see, the 12:30, the panel for which all the special guests at Comic-Con get their own little breakout panel. So if you are hearing this in time to go to Comic-Con, you need to be there Friday, 12:30 at the room. Is that? Can you read that, babe? I can't read that.
It's a
5AB.
Yeah, 5AB.
5AB. Because at that panel, you bitches, we're going to do not one, but 2 cover reveals. One is a cover reveal and a name reveal for book 2 in the Crypt series.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, it is very
I
fun.
didn't know you got approval
The
for
cover,
that. That's very
the cover
fun.
is titties and beer and darts and peanuts. It's the best time you can ever. It's so fucking good. I'm so excited. Only one person, two people here have seen it. This chick right here to my right, my co-host, seen it, and Chris Grawl in the chat room has seen.
I didn't know
the
you got
cover too.
approval for that.
I approval for that. And then the second one is a book for which this live stream / podcast, I'm not allowed to say the name because reasons and law and marketing
And NDAs.
which makes
Which
no
make
goddamn
no
sense at all. But you know, we want to be good partners. And that book, which I can't tell you the name of it or when it will be out or what it is about, but I will be able to show a cover reveal at Comic-Con. And because of all the crazy rules about this book, the only people in the world who will get to see that cover before I get clearance in 2026 are going to be the people who are at Comic-Con. So sorry. That's
Hopefully,
just
David.
the way it is.
Hopefully, David.
And then continuing on Saturday, the 26th, babe, what do we got?
At 3 p.m., you do the same thing that you did earlier in the week, where you do the autograph session for the Weird Tales first, and then following at 5 p.m., you do a discussion about writing for Weird Tales. But you have this, and I think you might want to. We have this.
We have something to show. We have an unboxing for you guys. Unannounced unboxing. Ba-da-boo. Ba-da-boo. Let's go to me. Here we go. Oops. Hold on. All right, you guys seen enough of my hat-covered noggin. Now you see the glorious bald noggin. All right, you guys listening after the fact, what we're doing now is we're opening up a package. Excuse me while I whips this out. Here we go. And if you were tuning in live, you would get to see this. But what we have here is, here you go, sweetheart. Work the glare.
Look at
what we are showing right now is the cover for, wait, what is it? Weird Tales.
Weird Tales, the Undead
371.
issue.
Hold it to the camera.
I'm trying to do it without the.
You got to get.
Yeah, here. Yeah, I got it.
Bring it.
Give me a second. I got to get it without the lights and then bring it
Reach
up.
around that mic.
The Undead issue. Oh.
Yeah, it's tricky. Let me have it.
Yeah.
If you angle it down a little bit, now you can kind of see it. So Weird Tales.
The Weird Tales, an Undead issue.
So this, do I have a story in this bitch? Yes, I do.
Yes.
Let's see what the name of it is. Hold on, I forget. I write so many stories now, I can't
Let's
keep track.
find out together, friends.
We have The Seeker of the Greater Truth by Stephen Graham Jones, who's a pimp. The Long Straw by James Rode Rodriguez, who hires pimps. He pulls you down.
Stop, back up. James Rode Rodriguez?
Yeah.
You know who that is?
No.
That's Sean.
No.
Yes.
That is Sean from
Psych?
Psych?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're watching the show called Psych right now. And James Rode Rodriguez, that's
I
the
didn't
guy?
know that. Yes.
Wait, that's Sean or the guy who says Sean?
That's Sean.
Oh my gosh.
Dule Hill is the guy who says Sean.
Sean. James Rode Rodriguez was a star of the show Psych, which
we're just
right now.
watching it, and I'm very excited.
He Pulls You Down by David R. Slayton. People I Want to Eat by Greg Cox. I have to read that now. And then my story, In Memoriam by, of course, Scott Sigler. And Order Up by Keith R.A.D. Candido. And Alter Frankenstein by David Wellington, who wrote one of the best horror novels I've ever read called Monster Island. Check it out.
Totally check out Monster Island 100%. If you guys, In Memoriam is a Scott Sigler story. You guys need to read it. It is I'll say a non-science fiction, more leaning towards fantasy, Scott Sigler story. It's not fantasy. I'm not going to lie to you. Also, David Lamb, Jonathan Mayberry is absolutely the editor, the primary editor of Weird Tales. There are people who edit the stories, but he is the content editor. Now, he picked it up because he didn't want Weird Tales to fade away and picked up the mantle of doing that.
All right, now, that's my Comic-Con. I'm very excited. It's great to be able to show cover reveals that people have been waiting for a long time. We're going to show that in title reveals. We'll show
Wait,
that
did you hear that? We just had a Schwarmy in my headphones. I think on the Logic.
Oh, right.
So let's just go back to restarting.
Oh, hold on. No. Don't restart. So it's delightful to be able to show people in person covers for books that people have been waiting for quite some time. But what we need to get to is, how have conventions changed since the lockdowns and the COVID and all the other things? And now, did you write the thing I asked you to write? Where is it?
Up there.
Okay. We're going to talk about how conventions have changed since the lockdowns and the COVIDs. And the COVID's plural. Because
The COVIDs.
It's the COVID's making me cough and the razor blades in my throat for the fifth time.
There have been many variants. Many variants.
Fortunately, one of the people in this room right now is a person who knows conventions at a level that I do not know. My partner, a real girl herself, was an event planner for over a decade. She has run civic events with 150,000 attendees. She's run dozens of conferences, several conventions, and of course, she ran our own Siglerfest for 9 years. She's certified project manager professional, certified meeting professional, and a certified special events professional. And she manages not only Scott Sigler at his events to make sure he gets to everything, but also who else do you manage, dude?
Oh, we were talking about events, so I didn't realize. I'm so sorry about that.
Do you have the Adam Savage stuff on the script?
No.
She not only manages everything Scott Sigler, do at a convention, you also manage conventions for
Adam Savage of the Mythbusters.
Yes, Adam Savage of the Mythbusters. A has been helping both Scott and Adam navigate their way through hundreds of conventions over the past 20 years. We are going to now lean on your expertise in the world of conventions to tell people how much things have changed since the heady days of 2018 before 2019 showed up and kicked everyone straight in the taint. Now, most conventions shut down.
Yeah,
Okay.
In 2020 and 2021, most conventions shut down. They did, and that was the right answer. We didn't know how to deal with it, so we just shut everything down. 2021, we still hadn't had a vaccine that could manage public health. A lot of event planning is about public health, and we didn't have that. So 2020 and 2021, we didn't have a lot of conventions or many conventions at all, and we didn't really leave the house at all. We left to walk our dogs, but that was pretty much it. But lots of cons have absolutely come back from that moment in the years since. And I want to talk about how you guys can keep yourself safe and how the convention managers are going to try to keep you safe. Also applies to professional conferences you go to, anything where you have a registration. I'm going to tell you we're going to talk a little bit about how to make sure you're being as safe as you can be and how they are protecting you. Great.
Yeah, I see it. I should have read this beforehand. I'm trying to work my way through this right now.
Okay. So I will say, while Scott's reading, that the pandemic absolutely destroyed Siglerfest. We're a small convention, and we are very science-minded people. And having a convention for about 150 people is no longer in our wheelhouse because of the public health lifestyle that we now live in the United States.
Okay.
For now.
So let's get into it. First steps, these days, post-COVID, what goes into planning an event?
100%, any event you're going to consider going to, you need to look at the planning and preparedness of the event, the people who put on the event, the event owners. You absolutely should make sure you should go to that website, whatever event you're planning to go to, if it's 50 people or 50,000 people or 150,000 people. And you should see that there's several things. They absolutely have guidance telling attendees and staff how to manage if they have COVID or if they have any illness, and if they are developing a problem along the way when they're at the convention. They should also, on their planning website, the where you go to
Okay.
register, they should have absolutely developing policies that talk about refunds or credits in case the day before you fly you end up sick and you don't know what to do. The good event planners will have a policy that says, listen, if you develop an illness that you shouldn't come to the con with the day before you come, that's okay. We'll give you credit for next year. We'll give you a refund, whatever it is. That should happen. The other thing that should happen is there should be supplies for attendees and staff that can be used to help prevent the spread of disease. So, absolutely, hand washing stations, hand sanitizing stations. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Cons these days probably don't provide masks anymore, but you should bring your own. For sure.
Who is supposed to say this?
Oh, so I will say it. Right now for San Diego.
Wait. Snap in.
Right now, San Diego Comic-Con does not require masks, but they do suggest that participants get vaccinated and boosted before they attend the event, and where appropriate, wear medical quality masks while in large crowds. We do this when we're transiting between things or where we're coming into a big crowd. We wear masks for that purpose to try and prevent some of our some problems from happening.
So once the con begins, you're at the con, you're attending, hopefully you're vaccinated, hopefully you have a mask when it's appropriate. What is different between before 2018 and now when you were going to a con? What has changed about the cons when you're actually at the con doing your thing?
And I want to talk about this, but first we have to take a quick break. And when we come back from the quick break, I will talk about how things have changed between now and before times.
I'm just looking at this. I don't know why this has changed so much. Poor Steve. Very difficult with Steve. So when I come back, I have to pick up on that, right?
Yeah, just repeat the same question. That would be the easiest.
Okay. Hold on, babe. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to Deep Cuts.
This week, we're talking about how conventions have changed and what the new protocol is when you attend a convention.
So before the break, the question I asked was, okay, so we talked about organizing a con, how things are different about organizing and preparing both your attendees and your staff for this new world. What about once the con is rolling? We're going to the con, we're going to panels, we're going to the dealer's room, we're doing all the fun, geeky ass shit. What is different from before COVID to now?
This is so interesting because there are a few things that everybody should consider, including the people who are on the panels and the people who are attending. The biggest one is conventions are limiting attendance and limiting the number of people who can be in a specific room.
Take a drink.
Okay.
And then pick up right from the number of people who be in a specific room. So I'm going to pick up on that.
Should I say that again?
No. So now, like, of course, the great Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con, which is hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people. And a lot of the panels I've done where I've been on a panel or been attending a panel, it's standing room only. Like there are people lined up along the walls. So now, in the nowadays, what you were saying is it all things they limit the number of people, or is it just in general, for a big event, we're going to squash it down a bit?
So it's both. That's a great question. I want to say, if you have been going to a con for years and now it looks a little different, they're just trying to protect you and protect themselves because they are rate limiting the number of people that can go into a room. They are rate limiting standing room only options. And sorry about that, guys. They are rate limiting standing room only options, and they are rate limiting the number of people who can be at a whole convention. And all of that affects your attendance and your joy of attending.
Okay, but San Diego Comic-Con is kind of back this year, right? Like it's back to the huge numbers. And Dragon Con, which we'll be going to in a few weeks, like that's, a huge number of people pouring into downtown Atlanta, packed shoulder to shoulder, face to face. Are those numbers, are they limiting attendance for those things?
As best as I can tell, looking at meeting planning professional websites and information, all cons are being rate limited for the number of people who can attend, and also rate limited for how you attend at the convention. So fewer people in rooms, more management with line management, putting rows and sections blocked off so you have a little more space between you, managing the type of entrance you can have. San Diego Comic-Con has recently implemented a single line entrance to the convention. And by that, I don't mean...
Oh my God. Like, I hear that and I'm like, that's a nightmare, bro.
I know. I don't mean there is one entrance. I mean everybody goes into the con, stepping through the doors into the con in a single line, which means that there's somebody there kind of checking that they're checking in and hitting their badge against the RFID, but also they are evaluating every human being who steps through those doors. So if somebody looks sort of smarmy, or somebody looks sort of sweaty, somebody looks sort of ill, they're going to check in with them.
Now, most people who work at the cons are volunteers. Is this a new responsibility on volunteers, that a volunteer who is doing their service to the community by helping with this con, they have to be able to kind of visually identify people who look like you don't look well?
Yes, they absolutely are doing that. And they're not saying, well, you don't look well, you can't come in. They're saying, hey, are you feeling okay? Do you need anything? Can I help you with anything? Do you want a mask? Would you like a check-in? Which is great because it's cons have always had what is normally called disability services.
Okay.
So if you have any kind of ADA recognized disability, if you're deaf, if you're blind, if you're hard of hearing, if you need a mobility device, if you all of that, they have a way to manage that for you. And so they have added to their disability services, which is not really disability, looking out for people who might be getting sick, who might be feeling poorly and problematic for other people, that sort of thing. And they say, hey, can I help you? Any attendee who has a badge that they can, enter the con with can refuse those services, but they're offered. Right now, they're voluntary.
So in the chat room, we had a question from Michael Morris, says, how many go to San Diego Comic-Con? And we got an answer from Steve Rickyberg, also in the chat. It says, post-COVID, that's DragCon, sorry. Post-COVID, DragCon is capped below its 2019 peak. In 2019, the peak was 85,000 people. Now it is capped at 72,000. Lord of the Rings girl who went to C2E2 said she knows a lot of the same changes in C2E2s in Chicago, but it was still an absolutely huge con. And Fuzz Bubbles went to Baltimore Comic-Con and HeroCon 2024. Both seemed as packed in 2019, but that could just be their impression.
Yeah, and I will say I have lived in San Diego since 1998 and gone to San Diego Comic-Con and worked San Diego Comic-Con for years and years. And I will say, I think that all cons have reduced their total overall attendance.
Okay.
But they are giant. And San Diego has always managed, San Diego Comic-Con has always managed and said they're around 135 to 145,000 people. But that's all managed by the fire department. So they give a range. Everybody gives a range because they don't want the fire marshals to shut them down for any reason.
Fire marshals going to shut us down. That's a old rap song. So some of the things that I've learned from you is, now there's things like hand sanitizing stations on the floor and, sanitizing panel rooms, exhibit hall.
This is a
circulating
huge
the air
one.
overnight.
Yeah,
right?
This is a huge one. every convention center, every hotel, every place you've ever been to a conference, they manage their meeting rooms to make them human friendly. So overnight, the reason you get locked out of a meeting room if you ever go to a small conference of a few hundred people is so that air can sit sanitized in that room overnight. They blast sanitizer into the room and they just let it sit there overnight and sink into everything. That's always happened every hotel you've ever been to.
It's like a sci-fi zombie outbreak movie.
Oh, yeah. Every hotel, every conference you have ever been to, overnight, the reason you're locked out is so that they can sanitize the room. But they're doing that in between meetings.
So Don Shipley asked, in the Don chat room, asked a great question. What about people in costumes? People have, first of all, a lot of people who are cosplayers, they have makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see if they're sweaty or pale or peaked, etc. There are people in full costumes. Do you think cons address that issue, the full costume and also the makeup possibly masking symptoms?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that volunteer members of the staff can know if you're in a full Ashoka whatever or whatever. If you're an Avatar cosplay covered in blue, they will know if you're sweaty.
But they can tell if you're weak and stumbly.
And they've been trained to look at that thing. They've been trained to say, are you stumbly? Do you seem confident? Are you sweaty?
Okay.
Are you having trouble communicating? All of those things. And again, at San Diego Comic-Con and Dragon Con, they're going to ask you, do you need any assistance? Because it's voluntary, right? They're going to say, you seem struggling. You seem like you might need help. Can I help you at all? They are not going to tell you you can't come in. That's not a thing right now. And I think that those things they will do, and I hope that it extends to smaller events too, like big parties or haunts or things like that.
Well,
but all of those things are things that will continue to happen.
Another thing, when you mention that, it brings up like a lot of people get in lines for a long time, if not hours, to get a photo op with their favorite celebrity. And the photo op line, in a sci-fi convention, you go and there's a room with people who are on that one show you loved in the 80s, the one show you loved in the 90s, and then the very popular line of that one spaceship show that was on in the aughts.
Yeah.
And people will line up.
That's a great way to say it.
And spend a lot of money just to get a shot with that one person that actor that was touched their soul, who they have happy memories about. So I just want to get a picture with this one person. It'd be great. And they'll pay for it, but those lines are close packed in. And then, of course, there is the potential risk to the performer themselves.
Right.
What are they doing about that?
So if you haven't been back to a convention and you want to go, I will tell you things are a little bit different. Often signing/autograph lines are managed online before you show up, so that your exposure time is short.
Okay.
And I do know that attending guests at San Diego Comic-Con and other cons have the option to say, I would love to meet fans, but I need to meet them in between plexiglass for photos and stuff.
Okay.
And I wish I would have called up, but there are some very lovely. Jason Momoa does it very well. Adam Savage does it very well, where there's a plexiglass wall between you two, but they do fun like back-to-back kind of moments and stuff.
It's kind of looking front on. You can't really see the plexiglass wall. That's the way they do it.
It's like if you've ever seen somebody play themselves and a twin on TV, there's a little thin line in the middle that you sort of see.
Sure.
It's that kind of moment. But people have leaned into that, and some people are really enjoying that and now collecting back-to-back superhero photos with their favorite celebrities and stuff like that.
Okay. Here's an interesting point right now. There is one current COVID outbreak, supposedly. I have not studied up on it myself. But overall, you go to this con, you're relying on the attendees to have maxed out their vaccination to whatever the particular pathogen is at that time. But it's not like it was when we went to cons in 2019 where everybody was masked up. Do you have any idea what the policy is for the cons? What about masks?
It's a great question. Masks, as far as I can tell, are not required at all at any con in the United States or any con that Scott has been invited to. I looked them all up. However, strategically wearing masks is highly recommended and encouraged, especially if you're going to be in a big crowd, which is, I said at the top of the hour, is sort of how we kind of go through cons. If we're walking through a huge crowd, we'll mask until we get to where we are just to prevent con crud. We used to call it con crud,
Yeah,
and
we
now
did.
con crud can kill you. Con crud could be COVID.
If you've got another condition, concrete can kill your ass.
Right. Con crud could be RSV. But, in 2018, we just expected to go to San Diego Comic-Con and Dragon Con and Phoenix Comic-Con and Emerald City Comic-Con and come home with a cold. We called it con crud. Con crud is easily and eminently avoidable, and just wearing masks as you transit from place to place may help you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the policy for San Diego Comic-Con, also for Dragon Con, and is kind of how we live and breathe. We kind of go through giant crowds masked, and then in smaller crowds take our chances. And that is the active current policy.
So let's finish this up. Now, your training, you are a bench chemist with a degree, pharmacologist. You spent time in the pharmaceutical industry. You've worked on many very important projects.
Yeah.
If knowing what you know about COVID, about flu, about contagious diseases right now, do you feel safe attending an convention like San Diego Comic-Con and Dragon Con?
I do. And I feel safe encouraging anybody who wants to attend a con to attend a con. I will say, in the United States, I would be overly cautious because our civic rule set is a little bit different right now. Our CDC and Health and Human Services departments kind of don't necessarily give you the most up-to-date data anymore right now.
Not anymore.
However, I would say, if you guys want to attend a convention or a conference or a meeting or anything where you're going to be in public, just take a couple of precautions. If it's a very big crowd, if you can't be more than a few feet apart from someone else, consider bringing a mask so that you can cover up if the crowd is very big. That will prevent con crud. Don't have to avoid COVID. Don't have to avoid RSV. Just con crud, which everyone hates. Just put that mask on while you're walking through a big crowd.
It has been a constant. I love going to cons. I am so delighted that I get to do this for a living. I have not had a boss over me other than for like almost 20 years now. And it's an amazing, wonderful life that I work extremely hard for and sacrifice a lot to have. And part of that is I get to go to cons, but every single time I go to a con, no matter what kind of physical shape I am in, there is a pathogen that shows up that my body's not prepared for. And it is 1 to 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 4, of being sick after the con because you're in elevators with people who are sick. People are licking parts of the elevator. People are going into the buffet. People are going into the food buffet, sneezing and putting their hand into the food. At some point, someone who doesn't understand pathogens is going to get you in the end.
I understand pathogens, and I'm going to give you 4 things that will help prevent con crud.
Here we go.
And then we're going to go.
Let's go.
Number 1.
1.
Absolutely. 2 or more feet apart. I know we had the 6 feet rule during COVID.
Okay.
2 or more feet apart.
6 feet is basically, if you can imagine holding a hockey stick at arm's length and expanding it around in a circle, that's a lot of space.
But Scott and I are currently roughly 2 feet apart.
That's not
face
too
to
bad.
face, right?
It's not too bad.
And this prevents quite a lot of what is called spray.
Okay.
Now, the way you understand a spray is think about when you sneeze, how far that unguarded, you're not covering your mouth or nose or anything, how far that might go It can go about 5 to 6 feet. It absolutely goes 2 feet. So if you can just be a little bit outside the 2 feet range, you're going to prevent a lot of that. That's number one. Number two is, I know this sounds crazy, but guys, if you're going to eat anything, wash your hands first. Even if you haven't talked to anybody, haven't shaken anybody's hands, haven't done anything.
Mm-hmm.
We as humans navigate through life by our senses. And one of our senses is touch. And we touch a million things. We touch doorknobs. We touch banisters in a hallway. We touch parking meters. We touch everything. And all of those can carry cooties. And some cooties can live on an inanimate object for up to 72 hours.
72? I thought it was like 24, bro.
72 hours is the minimum. So try not to touch your face ever for any reason.
Okay.
But if you are going to put something into your human body, even if you're like, oh, I'm not even going to touch it. I'm just like this. Hey, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to drink out of it. Wash your hands if you're going to have a meal. Wash your goddamn
hands, you savages.
Wash your hands. I know that sounds crazy.
You goddamn primitives. Wash your hands.
That's number 2.
Three.
Number
What's
3
three? Let's go.
Is, without question, wear a mask in a giant crowd.
Okay.
4, and this is my last one.
Let's go to the mask for a second. Now, I know that masks are a very polarizing political thing to some of the people out there. There are people out there like, you can't tell me to wear a goddamn mask. I get you. I understand. Put the goddamn lipstick on the floor. Perfect. A lot of people, a mask has become, for some strange reason, this polarized political thing. If you are offended by a mask, you don't have to wear it all the time, is what this professional to my right is saying. But if you're in a giant room packed in with a lot of sweaty people and you don't know who they are, it's not your church. You can't count on these people to take care of business. Fucking strap on a mask for 35, 40 minutes. It's not going to kill you. That will keep you from getting you sick. And here's the thing. It will stop your spouse from getting sick, your kids from getting sick, and your coworkers from getting sick. And then when you leave this place, you take the mask off. Nobody has to know. Nobody has to know.
Or like me, my infirm folks getting sick, who I love and see every single week, right? Yep. I can live through a cold. They might not, so I'm not going to risk it. And
number 4, what is number 4?
Well, I was going to say there were 4, but there are apparently 5. So I'm going to give 4 and then 5, which is very short. Number 4 is trust yourself. This is the craziest thing that people have trouble kludging in. If we go to Comic-Con and we're there tomorrow through Sunday, Thursday through Sunday, and on Saturday morning, Scott wakes up sick.
Mm-hmm.
The right answer is for him to email San Diego Comic-Con and us to talk about it together. There's no shame in getting sick. There's no moral equivalency in getting sick. It's fine. Everybody gets sick. That's how viruses work. Nothing to do with your fortitude. If you're feeling unwell and you're supposed to give the keynote speech or be a special guest or attend the con that you flew all across the country to go, you talk to the people who you're there with and you're there to see and who have you there and talk about it, because things can happen. Like if Scott wakes up sick on Saturday and he has his spotlight panel because he's a special guest at Comic-Con, we email San Diego Comic-Con, and maybe they put Jonathan and Scott, like, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet apart with microphones.
Easy.
That's what they do. But talk about it, because there's no moral failing in having a sickness. Nothing is wrong with you if you have a sickness. You're just sick.
I believe no matter what your political persuasion, no matter what fires you up and stirs the coals in your chest, that if you are ill, you should feel very comfortable letting other people know that you are ill and you don't want them to have the same illness that you have. Mm-hmm. That's not left. That's not right. That's very simple. Like, hey, man, I'm not feeling that great. Give me some space. Let me help you out. So what is the 5th one, babe?
If you see triangles. 100%.
You want to know what burns?
Do not.
You want to know what burns? Scotch in the nose burns.
Blame
too.
Tyler Miller. It was his idea.
Fuck you and Tyler Miller both. Scotch in the nose is problematic. It's problematic.
So if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, you know how to reach us. Info at Empty Set. If you happen to be here, happen to be in the area, happen to be going to San Diego Comic-Con, and don't know if you can see Scott, please email us and let's figure it out. Also, if you're going to DragonCon, we don't have a whole schedule yet, but Empty Set is coming back to DragonCon. And we absolutely have a Saturday night, late night, one for the Junkies panel.
Yes. We'll talk about DragonCon when DragonCon comes a little closer, but that is it for this week. We will be back. Do you know what our topic is next week, babe?
Yeah.
Next episode was our... Wait. That is it for this episode. Next episode, babe, do you know what we're talking about?
I do. We'll break down Scott's method for picking character voices and characterizations in audiobooks.
And over 500 characters I have tried to give a unique voice to entertain your asses. It gets complicated, and we're going to talk about it.
If you have anything you'd like to tell us, please email us at info@emptyset.
Great. That is it for us for this week. We've been Gosh, sorry. Too many scotches. That is it for this episode. Catch us next time. We love you. God damn it, hit the mic. That is it for this episode. We'll be back in the next episode. We hope you join us. But you all smell an awful lot like flowers. Goodbye.
Goodbye, you guys.
Boom.
Nice work.
Hey, dude, fucking great job.
Thanks. We're still live, right?
We're showing you guys how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
I worked for a company that did presentation training for Fortune 500 companies. So I said, hey, make, don't worry, I'm not shitting on you. I trust you. Make some bulleted questions. And if you guys can see this, A's bulleted questions are like half a page.
But they were bulleted.
When you know a bunch about a thing and you try and communicate to someone else how to do a thing, you don't realize how much goes unsaid because you've been doing it for a long time. So now I have to sit down with A between this week and next and be like, when I say bulleted, I mean this, not this, which was good, but this, which is
all those bullets,
which was better. But last week, A and I had kind of a breakthrough where I've been on the microphone for 30 years, be radio, podcasting. There is so much I've internalized about what I do for a living and how to entertain you all that when you try and tell someone else a thing, you don't realize how much you have ingested is now part of your DNA. So last week we had to talk about A's a professionally trained actor, knows more about acting than I ever will, and had never considered the microphone you on podcast is you, but it's the acting you, and it's
the improv. You said improv.
It's the improv.
Yeah, I had never considered that.
It puts a parentheses around when you think about it, oh, I need to focus on these parts of who I am and not go off on all these other things, tangents. And tonight, A crushed it. Massive improvement.
Thanks, honey.
Massive improvement from 1 week to the next.
I just never thought about it. I never thought about it.
I didn't think how to explain it. You guys are all, with the things that you do, your level of expertise, you probably don't understand how granular and ingested that has become. Then when you try and train someone to do the thing that you do, you don't even know how to say what you do. You don't know where the words are to explain, oh, I need you to do it like this. And if you train people to do what you do, you get what I'm saying. If you haven't, it's weird. It's weird. You have to train someone to do something, they do it, and you're like, oh shit, I said that completely. Now I understand. Let me explain it in this way. And that's where we are now. So now our script next week will be different, and we'll continue to iterate and improve. David Lamb,
it's a great question.
Was I impacted by the loss of Ozzy Osbourne? Let's talk about this for a second. Because of course I am. Ozzy is not just one of the greatest band leaders, lead singers, and entertainment personalities of all time. He is, to me, what I strive to be in my own world of music and entertainment, which is we're going to put on this show. We're going to say all this crazy, evil shit. But at the end of the day, what Ozzy cared about was his bandmates. He cared about the people who paid money to see his show and paid money to buy his records and spent their irreplaceable time listening to his creations. And then third, he wanted to enjoy his life. He wanted to have fun. So Ozzy, oddly enough, Ozzy passing should have hit me as hard as Frank Sinatra's passing, which fucked me up a whole lot because I just did not conceive Frank Sinatra was even a person who could die.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me because I've been listening to Frank for 40 years. But Ozzy got the Black Sabbath, that last concert where he's in a fucking gorgeous gothic leather throne. And the motherfucker can't even...
bat-shaped leather throne.
He can't even stand up. He can't even stand up. He's not sure what's going on, but his bandmates had him. His wife had him. His management had him. And he got that last show where he got to fucking rock out and be the god that he has been for 50 years. And that, to me, David, that was a bit of closure. I tweeted about it and social media about it. Like, he got a Viking funeral while he was still alive. He got a moment of closure where he got to say, I got to do this my whole life long. And I didn't always get it right. And I screwed some shit up. But I entertained millions of people. I influenced thousands of musicians. And he got to embrace that and celebrate it while he was alive. And that, to me, is the Viking funeral. He got his long ship set on fire while he was alive, and he went out like a king. So when he died after that, I'm not at all surprised, and it didn't mess me up because he got a glorious ending that almost no one in the world will ever get.
And I will say, I absolutely lost my mind in the Black Sabbath concert with Mama, I'm Coming Home. I absolutely dissolved. It was beautiful because I think his whole family, absolutely him, absolutely Black Sabbath, they knew getting to that concert in England a few weeks ago was absolutely amazing and rare. The luck that they had that he got to do that is quite similar to David Bowie getting to release his album when he was still alive and quite literally dying the same week. The last moment that creator who gave so many of us so much joy could control. For Ozzy, it was the Black Sabbath concert, the Back to the Beginning concert a couple of weeks ago. For David Bowie, it was releasing the Star album, right? Like that moment, and they got to know it in their brain, and that makes me happy. That makes me happy that Ozzy gave us so much and got to have that moment and know he was bowing and that was the coda and he was tapping out was beautiful.
It was great. It was great.
In the backstage after the concert, he got to see Kelly Osbourne get proposed to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Kelly Osbourne got proposed to by somebody on stage and absolutely got to say, "You're not going to ruin my day by proposing to my daughter," or whatever he said, which was a joke and everybody loved
You
it.
have to show that to me.
That was a beautiful, lovely moment that a lot of people with memory issues don't get. And he got it. And I love that. My biological dad died of Parkinson's dementia, or died from Parkinson's problems. And he didn't get that because he didn't reach out a lot. You know, he wasn't super joyful in reaching out a lot. Yeah. And I love that Ozzy got to have that moment.
It winds up being a blessing that is a curse. Michael Moore in the chat room says, my aunt has Parkinson's and is very rough on her. And yeah, not everybody gets to be a multimillionaire and their Parkinson's care is the best that can possibly be offered by society and science and monetary value. And Ozzy had that. And he had that money. He had that support structure around him. So he had the best care that was absolutely possible. And not all Parkinson's allows the sufferer to be cognizant of what is going on around them to the point that Ozzy was. And Ozzy got that concert. And quite possibly a lot of that vocalization, that singing, it was muscle memory. He's been doing this shit for his entire life. He's been singing these songs for 10,000 times with rehearsal and with concerts. His instinct and muscle memory took over, but he also knew that he was doing it. And you could see, I feel you could see, he knew, this is my last chorus. This is it.
Oof.
And he knew
it was such Michael Moore in the chat room asks, stutterers can sing perfectly fine as it uses another part of the brain. Is it the same with Parkinson's? I can't tell you the answer, but I will say my biological dad had Parkinson's, and no, it's for him anyway. For Kenny, it was
sufferer.
Right. And it isn't that they are accessing a different part of their brain. It depends on what brain they still have. At least it was that case with my dad. My dad, unfortunately, my biological dad, his part of his brain saw me every time I walked in his apartment. He saw me as my mother. And that was a bad thing because they were divorced. But he did that because that was the memory that he could access. So I would say, no, I'm your kid. I'm not Marianne, whatever. And he would then like kludge into the new thing. But he had to be told to access that memory.
Yeah.
So when I walked in blindly with no words, he accessed that part of his. So I don't know. It's different for everybody.
So as a musician with enough experience to be able to rehearse and perform a piece enough that a certain element of that musical memory and repertoire, it gets to a point where you literally don't have to think about it. Right now, with my cousin's band Super Weapon, I've been told that Minister Merciless, there are parts of songs that no longer require conscious thought. And now he can go and worry about what's my performance? How do I present myself in the song? Because the thoughts of the notes to play, the hand position, the vocalization, and the lyrics and the melody become unconscious elements. And now I can be like, how does he entertain people? And Ozzy hit that 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Playing Crazy Train for Ozzy? Come on. There is a group of DNA in his thumb that could be called upon to play that. So to answer the ultimate question was, does Ozzy's passing, is it difficult for me? Of course. One of the greatest lead singers of all time. Amazing. But that fucking going away party, that fucking burning Viking warship is absolutely the glorious capstone that everyone in the world should get, but almost no one does. And he got it because he was an all-time gangster, and it was glorious, beautiful.
We should all be so lucky.
We should. All right, we done?
You're going to go play video games?
I'm going to wipe off a tear right now. Fuck all you bitches.
Honey.
I'm not crying. Don't fucking, if you fucking kiss me, and it makes me cry more. It's just the way it works. What the fuck's wrong with you? We've established this.
We love your faces.
We love your faces. All right, y'all. We're going to fucking tap
he
out
did.
right now.
Steve says he got to go out on top.
He got to go out on top.
I actually, one of my oldest friends, I said, like she posted, she went in August of 2012 to an Ozzy concert or Black Sabbath concert. And then she posted like, oh, so sad. And I texted, oh, yes, terribly sad.
Terrible.
But I would love to die like Ozzy died.
Yeah. Ozzy died the modern and also musical equivalent of dying gloriously in battle. A true warrior doesn't want to get to the point where they can't do the thing they have worked their whole life to do. And Ozzy went out in a blaze of fucking glory in front of thousands of people and millions watching at home. I cannot imagine a better life than that crazy, drug-addled, fucking
In his
wild
younger
man
years. In his younger
had. Absolutely spectacular, glorious. Ozzy died in battle. I don't give a shit. He should have died on the stage, like right after he got the
wouldn't
cake.
have minded.
Got the cake. We're like, y'all should get your fucking hands in it.
He wouldn't have minded.
And just fucking dropped.
I will
But
say
it's
this
close
too.
enough, close enough.
I love that we got to have the moments of Ozzy and Sharon after Black Sabbath career, where she was on The View and he showed up to bring her flowers and things like that. I love those
Fucking
moments.
loved her.
Like, right. But he was just, I loved to see the sweet, normal, like caring Ozzy. Like taking care of his fam, taking care of his kids,
Yeah, because
taking care of his wife.
the Prince of Darkness was a character. The Prince of Darkness was a character made
That's what I'm saying.
to have fun, and sell records and entertain people who came to see him live. He was a fucking regular guy. He was a regular Joe.
Yes,
He was a regular
exactly.
Joe. All right, guys.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for spending time with us. If you are coming to San Diego Comic-Con and you can't find us,
12:30 p.m. Saturday. Fucking be there, Jesus.
also info@emptyset.com. Let me know where you are. We do this every year when he goes to Comic-Con. Somebody says, hey, I want my book signed. I can't get in, whatever. Email us, info@emptyset, if you're in San Diego.
Yep. And we're out. Michael Moore, the whole rest of the band is still alive, including Geezer Butler, great bass player.